Hey y'all, Cherise here with Potter Palace, and guess what I got? So exciting. So I just did my very first seed swap ever this year in February it was, and I just got my seeds. So I'm really excited, and these came on a day that I was having a really crappy day, and I got these. Yay! Seeds! It made my day so much better. And as soon as I opened it, all you can smell is dill. So there's dill in here. I did already open it, I did already look through them, and I did already pull out all of the seeds that I was excited for that I do want to try. Probably, maybe not all this year, but there are a few in there that I was really excited for that I'm like, oh, this is exciting. So I pulled those out, and I'm going to do those ones at the end. All right, so what do we have? Really fun. I definitely think that I want to do my own seed exchange. Do one locally in person and just be like seed packets, and let's just share them and swap them and have a little cocktail or tea or whatever your drink of choice is. I just think that would be a lot of fun, but I need to get into like a gardening group here or something like that locally so that I can start making friends that are interested in the same things. I don't have anyone in my life that's really interested in gardening like I am. My best friend, she appreciates it, and I share my plants with her, and she supports me, but she always laughs and chuckles at me like, you're just insane plant lady and you're crazy. And people, like her husband the other day is like, what is Cherise talking about? It's snow outside. She can't be planting stuff. And she's like, babe, she has a whole grow room. Like, she's got a little greenhouse. Like, it's insane. So I need some gardening friends locally, because I do. So anyway, let's get into it. So first seed I got here is the Corella di Cochina. It's a pepper, little peppa. And then we got yellow pear tomato, which sadly I won't be growing those because they're not my favorite. And this one, I don't even know what it is. It says from the seed collection of 808 Urban Gardener. Strawberry blonde calendula. Nice, awesome, cool. And see, some of them are really, like, the little packets are so cute. And then we've got some Extracta sage. So I don't know what this type is, this variety. So I'm gonna have to check that out. I've got lots of marigolds, which are great, which I love marigolds, can never have too many. And this is called Sparkly Mix, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna plant some of these though, for sure. I've got some flat leaf parsley, red radish, cherry bell, one of our favorites. I've got some borage, which I have that I have not grown yet this year, but I've got some of that. I've got Musky de Provence. I'm wondering if this is maybe like a melon or a cucumber. Let's check and see what it is. Cucumber and melon seeds look really identical, so I might not be able to figure it out. I might have to Google it. Maybe a melon or a squash. That's what they kind of look like. So I will be checking. Yeah, it might be a squash. Little tomato seeds. Napa Chardonnay or something. I don't know, but those are some tiny little seeds, and they do look a little bit like tomato seeds. And Jack B. Little pumpkins, which are super cute. Head amaranth. These are Jamaican Kalu amaranth. A few packs of the Asian winged bean, but these are really cool. I've seen them, and so I might try to just plant one of these, one or two, and just see when I do my beans. But they are really neat. They look really pretty. They're kind of right. I don't know if they're frilly, but they have like a little scalloped edge or like a little frilled edge on the bean, I think. I've got some Zhou pea peppers, pepper seeds, called okra. Got a couple packs of okra seeds, which I probably won't be growing. Got some banana melons. So I think I was excited about these. I think I might try to grow this. I'll look this up and see. Long Island improved Brussels sprouts, which I'll grow maybe next year. Lettuce seeds. San Marzano tomato seeds, which I'm not growing this year. I'm gonna do a tomato video. I got all my, I had I have over like 30 varieties, so I had to whittle it down a little bit. German green tomatoes, Aunt Rubies, something. So I might plant one of those. Amaranth. Okay, I can't deal with that right now. It's some sort of little thing. We'll figure it out. Santa Fe Grande hot pepper. Butterfly blue peas. So I might plant one of those. Some cilantro. Lettuce, romaine lettuce seeds. Common chamomile, so I don't know if that's German, Greek, I'm not sure. Common's a totally different one. Check on that. Got some Boston pickling cucumber seeds. Turkey berry. I have no idea what a turkey berry is, so I'm gonna be looking that up, but I got some of those. Danvers carrots. And I love how people, they just make their own little, people are so you know, like figure it out kind of people, you know, like most people, I'm gonna figure it out. I got some spineless okra. So I got three different kinds of okra seeds, which over in Washington, I don't know how well okra would grow here. Large neck pumpkin. Won't be growing those, don't have the space. Swamp milkweed, which I already have some, but that's always a plus. This is some, oh, this is giant Prague celeriac, which I'm super excited. I have a bunch of celeriac celery root growing. Celery root is amazing. If you don't know a lot about celery root or you don't use celery root, you need to hunt it out and you need to grow it in your garden and you need to use it. It is amazing. It looks really scary kind of because it's like this knobby, gnarly looking root that has like celery stalks look like it grows out of it. And what you do is you harvest the root, cut the stem off, and then you take a peeler, a potato peeler, and you just peel off the outer layer. And then inside is this it's like this really subtle, sweet celery-ish taste, but when you cook it and it breaks down, you can't taste the celery. So it's a root vegetable, so you would cook it just like any root vegetable. It is delicious. In fact, I made chicken pot pie one time, and I put celery root in there, and my daughter was like, it was really good, but you just need next time add more of those potatoes. And I was like, okay, those weren't potatoes, it was celery root. So that's kind of what it would take on. But you can put them in with potatoes and do mashed potatoes. You can bake, it's so good. I use a lot of celery root when I make stews, soups, chicken pot pie, any like veggie pot pie, any kind of shepherd's pie baked thing where they're gonna break down just like any root vegetable. They're so good. You should make celery root fries. I think I have a half a celery root in my fridge. I'm gonna do that. 29 broccoli. We've got some Siberian kale and calendula. Here, beefsteak tomatoes, pumpkins, or look at the cute little. So I wonder if it's a pumpkin maybe or something. I'm not sure. I'll find out. And then I got rainbow carrots, and I got some more bouquet dill, which I'm excited about. I got some contender beans, which I've grown before, which do really nice. Those I want to say are like a pole bean, and a Mr. Stripey tomato. So I have a couple tomato seeds in here that I want to start. This was all this stuff that I ever had before, or that I'm not going to be able to grow or whatever. So here's all the stuff that I got that I was excited about. All right, so we've got some echinacea coneflower, which I already have, but I like the flowers. I've got some African marigolds. I got some Cupcake Cosmos, which I'm super excited because I love Cosmos. The sparkly marigolds I showed you earlier. We've got some Pacific Beauty calendula, which I already grow. Bachelor buttons, which I have for winter sewing totes. And I have bachelor buttons out planted in their sprout. So, doll-faced daisies, which I think are gonna be beautiful. So I'm gonna do all that. Got a huge bag of dill seeds. Can't have never enough dill. This is a Darling Teddy Bear Sunflower. which I have a feeling I think this is a dwarf variety. Sunflowers. And then this one, which I've heard of before, but I have never grown it. It is a medicinal plant. It's called toothache plant. So I will be growing one of those. We've got some camo squash that I want to see, check into this. Little swamp milkweeds. I've got some Pandora striped rose eggplants that I love eggplants, so I'm going to use that. Lemon Queen Sunflower, which I actually just bought some of those. African Marigolds. Cylindra Beets, which I've wanted to get and I didn't buy any, thankfully, so now I have some to try. Little Marvel Shelling Peas. These are my very, very favorite. I grew these last year and I grew 2 bush habit. They still do need a little trellis. I just put one of those little border fencing things on them last year. But these are so yummy, and when the seeds start to get really plump inside and the outers get a little harder, that's when you know that they're to pick them and then to shell them. They're so yummy, and shelling peas reminds me of when I was a kid at my grandparents' memories. Sometimes I feel like that's part of why we garden, is the nostalgia and the memory it brings. If you grew up like I did. I grew up around gardening. My grandpa had a garden. My mom always had something growing, whether it was a pot on the porch or a little garden bed, or in our house we always had plants and we always had sprouts on the counter. So I'm really fortunate to know from a very young age what a home grow, like my grandpa grew huge beefsteak tomatoes and they were always a side condiment at meals. Just fresh sliced tomatoes with a little salt on them. Oh, it's the best thing in the whole world. So yeah. This I was really happy about. This was super exciting. This is lamb's ear. And lamb's ear, if you don't know, it is a very short, it's like a ground cover, and it has, it kind of looks like sage a little bit to me, but it has that like soft, it looks like a little lamb's ear, and it's really soft, and it has like this soft little white kind of fuzz on it. Well, anyway, I have out into my little walkway through the garden gate into my garden. Last year, I planted a bunch of lamb's ear and creeping thyme on the ground there that will multiply and grow and then cover the bit. So I'm excited because I'm going to try to get these to sprout, and then I'll have more lamb's ear to plant out there because that really took off. The creeping thyme was okay, but the lamb's ear is really nice. I love to go barefoot, so that's one reason why I would never have bark pathways or anything like that in my garden. I would much rather have grass, straw, dirt, something like that I can walk barefoot on. And so that was part of why the lamb's ear, I want to have a nice little soft bed of cushion when I want to walk into my garden. So this was one of my probably top favorite thing I got in this seed haul, the lamb's ear. Oh, and this one, the Nigella. So Nigella is a spice. I don't quite remember all of it, but it is something I've wanted to grow, and the flowers are super, super pretty. And of course, they'll attract pollinators, which I'm super excited about too. So I'm going to plant some daylilies because I want to have more perennials, and I believe the daylilies are going to be their perennial. We have a bicolored Cherry Profusion Annual Zinni. I use this one for containers, she says. It's a bush habit. Yeah, must cover seeds from Tina's Garden. So I'm super excited about that. My zinnies, I've never grown them before, and I have a whole bunch out on my table. I moved all my flowers from my grow lights and put them out on my table because I felt like I'd rather have my grow lights for my veggie stuff. And I think the flowers are doing fine out there. Last thing I got was a packet of these Cantaloupe Honey Rocks. And on the back it says here that they grow to be 4-pound melons in it. So I think I'm going to add these into my melons and just try to plant 2 of them and see how they do. I love cantaloupe, and so does my family. And last year I was really disappointed. I got little melons that were they got about this big, and then I'm going to have to look it up, but it was like something went in at the base of them at the stem and ate around the stem, and it was all rotten in there. So I don't know what that is or what kind of bug, but maybe it was just because it was really moist and the weather was weird last year. I don't know, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. So that was the seed haul, and the seed haul was from the Frugal Garden on Instagram. So yeah, and I think she does it pretty often. So if you wanted to join, you could go follow her on Instagram, and next time she has one, you could get in on it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed Miss Seed Haul, and yeah, I'll see you later.